Still tracking your warehouse inventory with the spreadsheet, or even worse, paper? Yeah, you are in trouble, my friend. I am Frank, the Wholesale Pro, and welcome back to the channel where we help wholesale distributors and CPG brands like you work smarter, not harder. Today, I'm breaking down OIS Inventory, an easy-to-use warehouse inventory management software that is made for wholesale distributors and CPG brands. If you're dealing with stock chaos, missed orders, or inventory that magically disappears, yet we need to talk. OIS Inventory helps you track, manage, and automate your entire warehouse from receiving to picking to cycle counts, and the best part, no more manual processes. It works straight from a mobile device. No clunky system, no huge learning curve. Now, let's get into the top 3 features wholesalers love. Feature number 1, physical inventory. Need to run a cycle count or full inventory scan? No problem. OIS Inventory makes easy to scan items directly from your mobile device. It synchronizes in real time so your numbers are always accurate. Say goodbye to miscount, lost inventory, or that random pallet nobody remembers receiving it. Feature number 2, receiving. When new product hits your dock, just scan it and you'll know exactly what's coming in and where it's going. No guessing, no surprises, and even supports blind receiving. So if that supplier didn't send paperwork, no worries, you're still covered. Now for the big one, order picking. You get digital pick, list, bin locations, and item details all from your device. No more paper trails or yelling across the warehouse like it is a football game. This means fewer errors and faster order fulfillment. Boom, ready. Pro tip, labeling your warehouse correctly is everything. If your bins aren't labeled, your software is not going to work. It's magic. Good labels equal smooth automation. Need help on how to label your warehouse? Drop a comment below with the word help and I'll make a full video about this. And to get you started, I got a free resource for you. It is a guide on bin label locations. Download it using the link in the description. It'll make your warehouse labeling 10 times easier. Here is a quick look at OIS Inventory in action. Check out how easy it is to receive products, scan items, and pick orders. The first thing that I need to do is a physical count. So what I'm going to do is this. Remember, we have the different OIS solutions, and in this case, I'm going to go to the OIS Inventory app. Once I open the Inventory app, this is what's going to happen. This is the main screen. Depending on how we configured your account, you're going to be able to see the different icons, right? The picking section, the receiving section, at the bottom, you have the same thing. And look, whenever you're ready and say, hey, look, I'm going to start taking the inventory management seriously, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to come to the more option and I'm going to click on the inventory count. So once I click on the inventory count, look, the system will tell you, these are the previous inventory count that has been done by this specific user. So that's important because you can have visibility of what has happened in the past. If you click on the right upper corner, look, when you click on the right upper corner, Look, the system is already telling you. In order to do a physical inventory, you need to scan the item or select the item. In this case, select from the item code or the name of the product. But in this case, that's why I was emphasizing that it's so important to label your warehouse. So if I do this, take a look at this. If I do this, automatically I scan where the warehouse location. So whenever you're doing a physical inventory, you say, okay, beep, this is the warehouse location. Secondly, what you do is this. Once you scan it, automatically the system will recognize the product that you just scanned, right? And there you're gonna start doing counting how many you have of those items. Look, this is important. We can configure the scanner with two different ways. If you have five quantity right there, you can scan it. You can scan it 5 times, right? So that way it keeps increasing the amount. But if you say, hey, look, I have 100 quantity right there, you are not gonna be scanning 100 times, right? Scan it, that you're gonna get crazy. So basically, you scan the first time to identify the product. Once you identify the product, then you put the quantity that you have identified right there. So you keep on going on the second one. So what you do is this: you scan the second, location, and once you scan the second location, scan the product. Like in this case, look, once you scan the product, look, automatically will identify the product you scan. Again, you put the quantity and say, of this, I have counted 50. So look, it's very important. Right now, I'm doing it quite slow, right? But when you are physically in the warehouse, what you're gonna do is this: scan the location, scan the product, and put the quantity. Scan the location, scan the product, and put the quantity. So that way you keep on doing physical. Some of the recommendations in order to do the physical count is this: that you do it at least twice a year. Why? Because there might be discrepancies on the system. So that's why it's recommended to do it twice a year. Another recommendation is this: look, if you have products that are moving so fast, you have already identified what items move so fast, and you need to reorder again. They get to the reorder point really quick. So basically, you do physical counts or cycle counts for those items more often than the other one, because the other one don't move so fast. But for those ones that you have already identified, you do the physical count more frequently. So once you have done, look, very easy. Again, scan the scan the location, scan the item. Once you scan the item, put the quantity. Once you finish with this, what you're gonna do is this: you're gonna go to finish. The system is gonna give you a recap of what you have done, how many items you have added on that specific inventory count, and at the bottom you have any comments. If you say, hey, look, this is a testing, or we just did the count for all the beverages, depending on what you're going to be doing. Once you finish, this is what's going to happen. You just hit on send, and automatically this is what's going to happen. Once you click on send, this is what's going to happen. It's going to come again to the main central system. And here is the important thing. Look, let me turn on my camera right here. Look, this is so important. Once you do the physical inventory, beep, location, beep, product and quantity, location, product and quantity. This document is going to arrive to the main central system for the admin person. And here, see, take a look at this, where it says warehouse, we're going to have something called adjustment, right? So when you click on the adjustment, you will be able to see what items were adjusted on the physical inventory. But at that moment, it will not update my inventory, because that's going to be an administration decision to review if everything looks okay or something doesn't make sense. If they say yes and click on approve, that physical inventory is going to take place. So now you have exactly what you have physically, but again, that is not a decision from the person that is doing the physical. That's a decision from the admin person that is approving whatever you have done in the warehouse for physical inventory. So that's really important. The second thing that is going to affect my inventory is the receiving merchandise. So many, this is a practice that some distributors do that is that is not good for the inventory management. Some of you or some distributors, just to say that some distributors, sometimes instead of creating a purchase orders in the system, what they do is they just pick up the phone and say, hey, can you send me this, and this to the supplier, right? But in order to keep track of every movement of the inventory, what we need to do is this. You come to the warehouse on the main system, right? And once you come to the warehouse, you come to the vendors, and then you say, look, I'm going to create a purchase order. So once you identify who you're going to be buying to, your vendor, right? So in this case, the system automatically will recognize that you're placing the order and this needs to come to this specific warehouse. The reason that it shows you the different warehouses is because our system manage or can handle multiple warehouses. You could have the main warehouse, or it could be in a staging area, meaning when you buy the product and you receive it, that's gonna go to a staging area, not to the main warehouse. So in this case, I'm gonna put it to the main warehouse, right? So the employee that is creating the transaction, and then you start, putting the sales order. So like in this case, I would say, look, I need to order 45 of this, 56 of this. I need to order 58 of this, and this, I don't know, 89 of this. So look, once you order, here's where you can specify the expected date. When are you expecting from your vendor to arrive? In this case, for training purposes, I'm gonna put that the expected date is the same day, which in reality that doesn't happen, right? But for training purposes, I'm gonna put it for today's date. And look, once you create the purchase order, who do this? This is the purchasing department, right? They know exactly what's going on since they have full visibility of the inventory. They say, okay, we need to reorder again from this vendor and this product. If you notice, we have created a new purchase order, the number 19. So now I'm gonna put myself as one of the warehouse personnel. So again, look, the person could use, are you guys seeing this? This is a pistol gun, right? This is a Zebra pistol gun. This is another one that could be, and it has a barcode scanner reader. Or you could use what I'm using right now, my phone, and my phone is connected with a Bluetooth scanner, similar to the one that we're giving away in once we're finished. So you can connect that scanner with your phone, with your Android or your iPhone, and start scanning. It's really simple, guys. It's really simple. So again, let me go ahead and start showing my screen again. And remember, I created the purchase order. I created the purchase order number 19. So in this case, let me share my screen again. Okay, so what's gonna happen is this. Now that I have created a new receipt, what I'm gonna do is this. Once you click right here at the bottom, automatically it will send like a pop-up message to the warehouse personnel, so that way they are aware that a new order has been assigned to them, and whenever they say, okay, right now the vendor is coming in, we need to do the receiving. You know what I mean? In this case, again, I put it for today's date. So this is the one that I just created in real time from the main system, from the purchasing department. So if I click on it, the system will load exactly what was ordered. So in this case, we're gonna connect the barcode scanner and we're gonna go again, right? This is the purchase quantity, and this is the location where each of the item is located, the code, the UPC, and the unit of measure that you buy it. Again, as I was explaining before, depending on the different unit of measures that you have, you may buy on cases and you may sell on cases or units. So another thing that is important is, look, if I scan that item, automatically I can put the quantity, or again, you can keep on scanning, right? Keep on scanning, we'll keep on adding, or you just put the right quantity that you just scanned because you already identified the right product. Another thing that could happen whenever you're doing the receiving is that you're not gonna be receiving all the items. So like in this case, again, you scan the item and you might say, hey, look, I don't think I'm gonna be receiving one of these items. The cafe is damaged, right? So basically what you do, you just specify that instead of receiving 56, you're gonna be receiving 54, right? Because that's the other ones you're not gonna be receiving. They were damaged and you're not gonna be paying for those items. Another scenario that may happen is this, that they bring in this item, but this item they never brought it on the invoice. So I don't have it physically. What I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna put it as a undelivered, meaning that's not gonna be generating the final transaction. And the other thing is this, if you put it undelivered, you can also go into the details and put any comment. I did not receive it. Whatever you want to communicate to the purchasing department, because that's the one that they're going to be updating the document. Once you have it, all the other one is just scan it. Once you scan it, basically it would say, okay, I'm receiving the right quantity. So again, purchase order was generated from the office. The vendor arrived to the warehouse and say, okay, this is what I bring. In the ideal world, you will be receiving everything as you order it, but that doesn't really happen in real life. So that's why we have these different scenarios where you can say, and once you're finished, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna say, okay, this is the final document. And again, depending on how we configure your account, we can do two things. If you don't have staging areas where you receive the merchandise and later on someone is going to grab the merchandise and start accommodating on the different bins, on the different aisles, we can automatically send it to the inventory, to the main warehouse, or we can send it to the staging area. So if you notice right here where it says location, right there is going to be the location that you're going to be assigning all those items that you're receiving. The other thing is this, the reference number, this is the invoice number. Like in this case, this is the invoice number. See, 1020. This is the invoice that physically the vendor brings to you and gives to you, right? So that's basically is relating the receiving with the invoice number. You can also put any comment if it's needed. And if it finished, look, this is what's going to happen. Automatically, from the pistol gun, from the barcode scanner, from your mobile phone, it'll generate a new receiving. And the one that you already had, it gets removed. So what's going to happen? This is what's going to happen. Look, on the main system, if I come to the main system, look, we're going to go to the warehouse again, click on the receiving. So you're going to have full visibility of what's going on. Did you see right here that it says, look, it's 42. Okay, 40. This is the one that I just received in real time. If you notice, I put that the ref number, it was invoice 1020 from that vendor. So if I click on the details, I will be able to specify and see, oh, okay, that's exactly what I received from my vendor, and you will have full visibility of what has happened. So once you receive, inventory is going to be updated. Now, we have done the physical inventory that is going to tell you exactly what you have in the warehouse. And now we have received merchandise, which is going to be updated. How this is going to be deducting from your inventory. Again, let me put myself briefly as a warehouse, sales rep. So that way you can see the entire cycle. So again, let me show my phone and let me know if you guys are seeing it. So right now I am the sales rep. Look, we automate the different channels. It could be the sales rep, it could be the customer, it could be someone in the office placing the order. In this case, I'm gonna put the scenario that you have a sales rep in the field and they're gonna go and say, okay, I'm gonna place an order for this in manual distribution. I'm gonna put the order right there, just add the quantity that I need. I can, play with the filters and say, just show me this. Okay, let me add these items. And once you have it ready, look, I'm gonna go to the checkout. Look, this order that I'm creating in real time from manual distribution, this is the one that I'm creating in real time. What's gonna happen with that order? That order immediately, 408, right? Immediately is gonna be synchronized to the warehouse, to the main office. So if you notice right here, this is the order that I just placed in real time. It just arrived, see, in manual distribution. So look, this is really important. We have different type of configuration. This is the order that I just arrived. So you can grab order by order, or you can grab them all the orders, right? You can grab all the order, or you can sort them by the truck delivery driver. So let's say you get 20 orders, but 10 of those orders needs to be delivered by the New Jersey delivery driver. So in this case, you just filter all those orders, grab the 10 orders for the delivery driver, and assign it to them automatically. That's what way you're doing it. Another way you're doing this is, depending on the configuration that you have with the structure of your warehouse, you may have different departments, right? You may have the cool department, the frozen department, the dry department, and we can split all those orders. Let's say you get the order and you can split those orders by department. Or another configuration that we have is this. Let's say you have 3 pickers, 4 pickers. So usually a picker is assigned for a delivery driver. So that way he knows exactly how the structure of the warehouse is in the warehouse, right? So you can grab all those transactions and assign it directly to that specific picker. You know what I mean? Again, depending on how we configure your account. So let's go ahead and keep track of the transaction that I just created in real time. So this is the one that I just created in real time in manual distribution LLC. See if you notice the status is picked. So what I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna put myself as the warehouse picker. So again, recapping everything, right? We have the physical inventory where you go, beep, scan location, beep, scan the product, put the quantity, right? Once you have the physical, let's say you have 100 products physically, you can do a purchase order of the same item and say, hey, can you send me 50? Once the vendors arrive, to the warehouse, once the vendor arrives to the warehouse, what you're gonna do is a receiving, right? A receiving the merchandise, and whatever merchandise you're receiving is gonna be synchronized to the central system, and inventory is gonna be updated. So now that you have updated your inventory, how we're gonna deduct inventory? By the different invoices that you're gonna be creating for your customers. So the invoices, if you notice, I created a sales order for the sales rep in the field. The sales order was sent to the main system. The main system say, okay, this transaction is gonna be assigned to the warehouse picker, which is what I am right now, the warehouse picker, right? So if you notice, right where it says pick, right there, it's gonna show me all the transactions that have been assigned to this specific warehouse. If you notice, right there, it's gonna show you right here, the end manual distribution. This is the order that I just created in real time from the sales rep assigned to the warehouse, and now I'm ready to start working on this. So if I click on that order that has been assigned to me, so this is what's gonna happen. The system is gonna show me all the items, all the order quantity. Look, this is exactly what was ordered from the system, right? So now we're gonna have the order quantity, we're gonna have the warehouse location. Look, this is important because the system has the capability to manage multiple warehouse locations. So if you notice when I was showing you the label, your bin locations, sometimes, you have in a specific area where you said all these items where we pick, but behind that shelf, I have some other areas of the same item. So that item could be in different locations. You know what I mean? So whenever you're doing the picking, and if you have the configuration for different locations, this is what's gonna happen. You're gonna go and scan, right? Once you scan, it'll tell you, hey, look, that item is only on one location. So again, you scan the item and put the quantity, automatically will be added. And if you notice, automatically it'll put a check mark that the order quantity is exactly with the pick quantity. So you go on the next one, you scan the item, right? Once you scan the item, if this item is located in different locations, it'll tell you, hey, look, on the front location right there, we have 185. You only need 3. So again, you can scan 3 times, or you can just go ahead and put the quantity manually once you have identified the item. And again, it'll tell you it's been picked. Some scenarios that may happen on the warehouse is this. Someone might say, hey, look, this is the order quantity, but look, when I went physically, I didn't have all these items. I only found 2. And I wasn't able to find any other location of that item. So basically what I'm gonna do is this. I'm gonna put that I'm picking only 2 out of 3. And the system will tell you, hey, that product has been partially picked because you haven't picked all the 3 items. Another scenario that may happen is this. You might say, okay, this one is fine. And look, like this scenario, you find that this item, even though right here it says that you have 150, that's why I was emphasizing to do physical counts at least twice, or with the products that are rotating moving more faster, you got to do physical more frequently, because some of the scenario that may happen is this. Even though right here it says 150, you may say, hey, look, I couldn't find the item. So what you're gonna do as a warehouse picker, you're gonna report it as out of stock. So you haven't picked that item. So if you notice, different scenarios may happen on the warehouse. So whenever you finish, again, the system will recap all the things that you have done, and it will tell you, hey, look, for the order 408 for in-menu distribution, one of the items was partially picked. 3 items were picked correctly, and you're reporting that one of the items you didn't find it, right? So you can go back. You can go back and correct if you have made a mistake, or you might say, hey, that's what it is. That's what we have physically in the warehouse, and that's what it is. You can even put a comment, hey, I could not find, whatever the name of the item was. You can put it right there on your mobile phone, on your pistol gun, if you're using the pistol gun, right? So once you're done, look, this is what's gonna happen. You say, okay, I'm done. That transaction is gonna be removed from the pickers, and now in live, it's gonna go back to the main system. So what's gonna happen on the main system is this. Look, if this is happening in real time, what I mean by that is that whoever is in the office is going to have full visibility of what's going on with the receiving merchandise, with the sales rep in the field, what you have physically in the inventory, and with what you have on the warehouse with the order picking. If you notice, this is a transaction that I just did. It says pick. So imagine that you would have like 30 transactions right here. The easiest way to do this is this. Okay, system, show me only the ones that they have picked. So it's going to show you the one. But show me only the ones that have been picked only for today's day. I don't want to be seeing all of them. Okay, these are the 2 that have been picked. So imagine if we would have like 30 transactions. Hey, what's going on? Only 2 transactions have been picked. What they've been doing. You have full visibility of what they're doing in the warehouse. So if you notice, this is the one in menu distribution. You can open this transaction and check exactly what has happened in order to make sure that you never send the wrong product, the wrong quantity to your customer, because that's gonna hurt your business. So if you notice, it says 2 out of 2, 3 out of 3, 3 out of 2. So what happened with this one? They didn't find the other one. You can either call the pick and say, hey, you are 100% sure that it was not that item. So you may have discrepancies in the inventory, right? 5 out of 5 and 3 out of 0. So if you notice, so this one, it was never picked. So you as an administrator can make decisions. You can say, hey, look, okay, the Cafe Buen Dia, it was not available. You can call your customers. I don't know if that's a practice that you have, but you can do it, right? You can call your customers and say, hey, can I send you a substitute item because I thought that I had that one, but I don't have. Can I send you a substitute item? If they say yes, you can add it, put the quantity. See, you can add it directly right here. And once you add it, you can send it back to the warehouse picker. So the warehouse picker is going to grab the transaction, but it's going to check that all the items have been picked except for that one that you just added. So he doesn't have to go all over again on the entire transaction, just for that one item. That's one scenario. The other scenario might be that you might say, hey, look, I don't think, see, I'm going to be deleting that one item that I just added, so that way we don't confuse. So let's say we're going to invoice exactly what the picker says, because that's in reality what I have in the inventory. So if I click on fulfill, that transaction is going to be converted into a final invoice in real time. And take a look at this. If I come to my invoice, this is going to be converted only with what the picker says. Look, we also have another scenario where you are done with the picking and all those transactions are assigned to a supervisor. So the supervisor can go with the pistol gun and say, beep, just scan the order and make sure that everything looks okay, so that way he can do any correction. If it do make any corrections from the orders that have been picked, that's where the final invoice is going to be generated. Again, depending on the structure of your warehouse and your business, right? So if you notice, this is the final transaction. If it disconnected with QuickBooks, the final transaction is going to go to your QuickBooks. Or if you are only using the central system, you're ready just to print the final invoice, give it to the warehouse driver, and they're ready to deliver it. So you are minimizing almost 100% that you're not going to be delivering the wrong quantity and either the wrong product, because you're using the barcode scanner to have more accurate whenever you're doing picking and whenever you're doing receiving. And since you're doing physical inventory, those scenarios that you're not going to find the item on the order are going to be limited, because you have full control of what's going on with the inventory management. So if you notice, guys, it is really simple. One of the, I would say one of the main strengths that we have at Orders in Seconds is all our solutions are very user-friendly. If you notice, receiving is so simple. Physical inventory is so simple. Doing picking and fulfillment is so simple, because we understand the industry, how it works. Its simplicity needs to be right there. If you are ready to stop guessing and start automating your warehouse, go ahead and schedule a live demo of OIS Inventory. I will show you everything step by step so you can see if it is the right fit for your business. Hit the like button if this helped you out. Comment help if you want the warehouse labeling video, and subscribe for more real tools for Wholesale Pro like you. I'm Frank, the Wholesale Pro, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.